Hello students, welcome back to JCEE Connect. So let's continue with our revision on our course on Internet of Things technologies. So in this lecture we are going to continue with our module 1 and we are going to discuss drivers behind the network architecture, comparing IoT architecture, a simplified IoT architecture, the core IoT functional stack and IoT data management and compute stack. So let's start with drivers behind new network architectures. So the key difference between IT and IoT is data. IT systems are mostly concerned with reliable and continuous support of business applications such as email, web, database, CRM systems and so on. Okay, but whereas IoT is all about the data generated by the sensors and how that data is used. Okay, so that is the difference what is IT and what is we are talking about IoT. The essence of IoT architecture involve how data is transported, collected, analyzed and acted upon. So these IoT architectures are involved in for transporting the data, okay, collecting the data, analyzing that data, and based on that whatever the data we have analyzed and we got, based on that how what actions has to be taken. Okay, so this particular table takes a closer look at some of the differences between IT and IoT network with a focus on the IoT requirements that are driving the new network architectures and considered what adjustment needed to be done in the IT network, current IT network. So we have already discussed about the challenges. Now based on the challenges, like what are the changes need to be done that we are going to discuss basically in this drivers behind the IoT architecture. So the first way we know that the challenge is scale, right? So the massive scale of IoT endpoints, that is sensors, is far beyond that the typical IT network. Okay, because we know that many things are getting connected. So the number of things connected to this IoT network will be far greater than a typical IT network. So IoT architecture change required. What change is required? So sorry so the IPv4 address space has reached exhaustion and is unable to meet the IoT's scalability requirements. Scale can be made only by using IPv6. IT network continue to use IPv4 through features like network address translation. Okay, so next one is security. So IoT devices, especially those on wireless sensor networks, are often physically exposed to the world. Okay, so the security is required at every level of IoT network. Every IoT endpoint node on the network must be a part of overall security strategy and must support device level authentication and link encryption. So each and every node of the IoT device must be under this security structure. It must also be easy to deploy with some type of zero touch deployment methods. Next one is devices and network constrained by power, CPU, memory and link speed. So whatever these devices are connected, so all the devices may have the CPU inside it, memory, and they are connected in the network, right? So due to the massive scale and longer distance, the networks are often constrained, lossy and capable of supporting only minimum data rate, that is 10 of bps to hundreds of kbps. So as the data need to travel a long distance, okay, so there will be a loss in transmission and all. Okay, then there will be many constraints. So for this, a new last mile wireless technologies are needed to support constrained IoT devices over a long distance. So this like a Bluetooth and all will not be that much useful because we cannot transmit the data a long distance. So we need some new last mile wireless technologies. Okay, the network is also constrained, meaning modifications need to be made to traditional network layer transport mechanism. Okay, then massive volume of data generated. So we already know that So many sensors are collecting so many data. So the sensors generate a massive amount of data on a daily basis, causing network bottleneck and slow analytics in the cloud. If you are having so much of data that need to travel through the channels and reach to the cloud, so analytics is also difficult, and the data traveling in the channel will be huge, right? So the data analytics capabilities need to be distributed throughout the IoT network and the edge to the from the edge to the cloud. In traditional IT networks, analytics and applications typically run over the cloud. Okay, so here in IoT, we need something more than the cloud, like a data analysis, more into the data analytics, so that we can handle this huge data in a well manner. Then we have support and legacy devices. At IoT network often uh, comprise a collection of modern IP capable endpoints as well as legacy non-IP devices that rely on serial or proprietary protocols. So there can be many devices which are not having a proper IP address and connected to the network. Okay, so support of that particular kind of legacy devices is also needed sometime. Okay, so this digital transformation is a long process that may take many years. An IoT network need to support protocol translation or tunneling mechanism to support legacy protocols over standard based protocols such as Ethernet and IP. Okay, so we know that basically protocols is what set of rules. So if they both devices are following the same protocols, then only they can communicate, right? So here many other devices may not having following that particular protocols and all. So that support of this particular protocol translation has to be there, right? The need of data to be analyzed in real time. So whereas traditional IT network perform scheduled batch processing of data, IoT data need to be analyzed and responded in real time. So analytics software need to be positioned closer to the edge and should support real-time streaming analytics. Traditional analytics software such as relational database or even Hadoop are better suited for batch level analytics that occurs after the fact. So here in IoT we need a real time data analytics. Okay, we cannot wait that data will travel to the cloud, then get processed, analyzed, and based on that sometimes we are getting back. So we need very faster analytics where and a quick response based on the data. So real time data analytics is required for IoT. Now next one is comparing IoT architectures. So basically the challenges and the requirement of IoT systems have driven a whole new discipline of network architecture. Okay, so in the past several years, architectural standards and frameworks have emerged to address the challenges of designing massive scale of IoT network. So there are many architectures available now. The people are working on so many architectures. So here we are going to discuss few of them. So like let's start with the first one, the one machine to machine IoT standardized architecture, one M2M. Okay, one machine to machine. So the goal of one machine to machine is to create a common service layer which can be readily embedded in a field devices to allow communication with application servers. Okay, so it is one service layer will be there. Okay, so which will be embedded in the field devices, which will allow that communication with the application servers. One M2M's framework focus on IoT services, applications and platforms. So basically services, applications and platforms. This include smart metering applications, smart grid, smart city automation, e-health and connected vehicles. One of the greatest challenge in designing an IoT architecture is dealing with heterogeneity of devices, software and access methods. So basically we know that heterogeneity of devices means devices will be having different protocols and all, so that has to be taken care. That's what we are calling heterogeneity of devices, protocols and all. So here the main elements of one M2M IoT architecture. So this diagram shows the elements. So the one machine to machine architecture divides the IoT functions into three major domains: the application layer, the service layer, and the network layer. While this architecture may seem simple and somewhat generic at first glance, it is very rich and promotes interoperability through IT-friendly APIs and support a wide range of IoT technologies. So, as we are seeing here, application layer. So there is smart energy, asset tracking, fleet management. Okay. Then in a service layer, we have one M2M include a common services horizontal framework supporting RESTful APIs. So we can see that common service layer, common technologies and protocols, communication networks, communication devices, and hardware. And the last we have the network layer. So these devices are connected to this particular layer architecture. So the applications talk to the APIs to communicate to the sensors. Now the next one is the IoT Word Forum standardized architecture. So in 2014, the IoT Word Forum Architectural Committee, led by Cisco, IBM, Rockwell Automation, and others, published a 7-layer IoT architecture reference model. IoT Word Forum model offers a clean, signified perspective on IoT and include edge computing, data storage, and access. IoT provide a clear way of visualizing IoT. It provides a clear way of visualizing IoT from a technical perspective. Each of the 7 layers is broken down into specific function, and security encompasses the entire model. So this IoT Word Forum standardized architecture is having 7 different layers. Okay, they are broken down into 7 different layers, and each layer will have a specific function. So this particular diagram shows the 7 layers of IoT Word Forum standard architecture. So let's see, the first layer is the physical devices and controllers. So basically the things in the IoT network. So this layer is a home of things in the Internet of Things, including the various endpoint devices and sensors that sense and receive the information. The size of these things can range from almost microscopic sensors to a bigger machines in a factory. So everything, that whatever the things we are connecting, that will come into this first layer: physical devices and controllers. Okay, sensor devices, machine, intelligent edge node of all the type. Then the second layer we have is a connectivity, communication, and processing unit. So in this layer you can observe there are like sensor, there are routers and switches, right? So what is the functions of this connectivity? Like, that is what is communication and processing unit. So communication between the layer 1 devices, okay, reliable delivery of information across the network, switching and routing, translation between the protocols, and network layer security, network level security. So these are the functions of second layer. Then the third layer what we have is a edge computing. So what is happening here, it is data element analytics and transformation. So this edge computing layer functions evaluate and reformat data for processing at the higher level, okay, filter the data to reduce traffic, higher level processing, assess data for altering notification or other actions. So basically it is filtering out our data. So as we know that we said previously that it is collecting so much of data, but all the data we cannot transmit to the cloud, right? So it is filtering the data at this level, edge computing, okay, and evaluating and reformatting that data to forward it to the next level. Then level 4 is data accumulation, that is storage. 5 is data abstraction, that is aggregation and access. Application, okay, analytics and control, reporting, analytics and control. And the last layer is collaboration and processes. So it involves like people and business processes. So basically this layer 4 to 7, the upper layer deals with handling and processing the IoT data generated by the bottom layers. Okay, so this is about the IoT Worlds Forum IoT architecture. Then we have a simplified IoT architecture. All the reference models, they each approach IoT from layers perspective, okay, allowing development of technology and standard somewhat independently at each level of domain. So many of the models, reference models, are following the approach of level. So layer wise architecture. So each layer will take care of different things, and each layer will have different standards to be followed. So the commonality between this framework is that they all recognize the interconnection of the IoT endpoint devices to a network that transport the data where it is utilized, where it is ultimately used by application, whether at a data center, in the cloud, or at various management point throughout the stack. So here you can observe this. This is a simplified architecture where it is divided into two parts. So this framework is presented as two parallel stack, the IoT data management and compute stack, and the core IoT functional stack. Okay, so reducing the framework down to a pair of 3-layer stack is no way suggested that the model lacks the detail necessary to develop the sophisticated IoT strategy. Even though we have shortened it is from like 7 layer to the 3 layers architecture, so it is not like that it is not giving us a detailed structure. Okay, so rather the intention of this simplified IoT architecture into its most basic building block, and then to use it as a foundation to understand the key design and deployment principles that are applied to industry specific use cases. Okay, so it will be a foundation for understanding and designing the different industry and specific use cases. Okay, so that's why even though it is reduced and simplified, like it is not like that it is giving less details. So basically that's what we are saying. It is divided into two part, that is core IoT functional stack, where we are having things, sensors, actuators, then communication network, and then application. And in IoT and data management and compute stack, we have edge, fog and cloud. So we'll discuss about this. So if we talk about the core IoT functional stack, so what we are having, the 3 layers are like things, sensors and actuator, then communication network, and then application. So let's discuss about first the core IoT functional stack. So IoT's network are built around the concept of things, right, or the smart object performing functions and delivering new connected services. The objects are smart because they use a combination of contextual information and configure goal to perform the actions. So why we are saying them as smart? Because they have the ability to collect the data, and based on that data they are having the ability to do some actions. Okay, so these actions can be self-contained. Okay, that is, the smart object does not rely on the external system for its action. That's what we are saying is self-contained. However, the most cases the things interact with an external system to report information that the smart object collect, to exchange with other object, or to interact with the management platform. Like either they can take the information and they themselves can decide what has to be done, or otherwise they need to transmit that collected information to some other device, and from that other device or that particular management platform they will get back the uh, information, or they will get back some information to do some particular actions. Okay, so that is what we are saying, like they can be self-contained or they can be rely on some other things to decide what has to be done. Okay, from an architectural standpoint, several components have to work together for IoT network to be operational. Okay, so as we said, the first one is things layer. At this layer, the physical devices need to fit the constraint of environment in which they are deployed while still being able to provide the information needed. So based on like which environment we are putting our particular device or a thing or a object, that has to be taken care, like where we are putting in a very hot environment, or whether it is exposed to water or all. So that are like environmental things has to be also taken care whenever you are deploying that particular thing, so that it can sustain in that particular environment and it is providing us the information which is needed. Okay, so that will be taken care in the things layer. Then we have a communication network layer. So when a smart objects are not self-contained, they need to communicate with the external system. In many cases, this communication use a wireless technology. This layer has 4 sublayers. Now communication, so this particular network layer is again divided into 4 sublayers. So the first one is access network sublayer. The last mile of the IoT network is the access network. So this is typically made up of wireless technologies such as 802.11ah, 802.15.4G and LoRa. The sensors connected to the access network may also be wired. So that can be wired or wireless. So then we have the gateway and black hole network sublayer. So a common communication system organizes multiple smart objects in a given area around a common gateway. What simply we are saying is, we have a gateway and many things or objects are connected to that particular common gateway in that particular area. The gateway communicates directly with the smart object. The role of the gateway is to forward the collected information through a longer range medium called the black hole to a head end central station where the information is processed. So basically gateway is collecting, it is communicating directly with the smart object, collecting the particular information, and then it is passing it to the central station. Okay, this information exchange is a layer 7 function, that is application layer function, which is a reason this object is called as gateway. Okay, on IP network, this gateway also forward the packets from an IP network to another, and it's therefore act as a router also. Okay, the next sublayer is network transport sublayer. So for communication to be successful, network and transport layer protocols such as IP and UDP must be implemented to support the variety of devices to connect and media to use. Okay, so this network transport layer, they must support this IP and UDP kind of protocols. The next layer is IoT network management sublayer. So additional protocols must be in place to allow the head end application to exchange the data with the sensors. Okay, so examples are like CoAP and MQTT. So you are familiar with the different protocols are needed in the networks, right? So computer networks and all you have studied. So there, if this particular devices need to communicate with the applications, so obviously there also has to be some protocol, the set of rule has to be followed, then only they can communicate, right? So this additional protocol must be in place, so at the end applications to exchange the data with the sensors. And the last one is application and analytics layer. So at the upper layer, an application need to be process the process the collected data. Okay, not only to control the smart object when necessary, but make intelligent decision based on the information collected and in turn instruct the things or other system to adapt to the analyzed condition and change their behavior on or the parameters. So this application layer, analytics layer is nothing but what? It is collected information is coming here, then it is analyzed that particular information, and based on that information it is sending back some instructions. So based on that the things need to operate or the things need to adjust to that particular environment. Okay, so this is about core IoT functional stack. Okay, then the other half was IoT data management and compute stack. So in this we'll discuss about the fog computing. So the solution to the challenges in the IoT is to distribute the data management throughout the IoT system as close to the edge of a IP network as possible. So as what we said, like we are collecting so much of data, and that data is then if we are transmitting that particular data to the cloud for the processing, so it is not practical for in the case of IoT because the data is very huge. So many challenges are there for that. So that's why if we want to reduce and we want to find a solution for these challenges, then what we are doing is distributing the data management throughout the IoT system. So the base known embodiment of IoT services in edge services in IoT is fog computing. So any device with computing, storage and network connectivity can be fog node. Okay, so any device which is having computing power, storage and it is connected with the network, then it can be a fog node. So let's have an example. Include industrial, this particular fog node kind of that can include industrial controllers, switches, router, embedded services and IoT gateways. So analyzing the IoT data close to where it is collected, minimize the latency, offloads gigabytes of network traffic from the core network and keeps sensitive data inside the local network. So that's what, analyzing the data close to where from we have collected. So if we have doing the required filtering there itself close to that device itself, then we don't need to transmit the huge data to the next level. Okay, so an advantage of this structure is that the fog node allows intelligence gathering and control from closest possible point, and in doing so it allows better performance over constrained networks. Okay, so obviously the performance of this network is improving. This introduces a new layer to the traditional IT computing model, one that is often referred as fog layer. Okay, so it is adding one more layer, that is a fog layer. So here you can observe the IoT data management and compute stack with the fog layer. So what we are saying, just close to our smart objects we are adding one layer, that is a fog layer, where the data will get like filter out and then it will be sent to the upper layers. So here the lowest is a smart object, so millions of smart objects are connected. Okay, then we have tens of thousands of multi-service edge layers, so that edge nodes, fog nodes will be there, fog layer, fog nodes will be there. Okay, then we have thousands of black hole core IPv6 network, and then translation response time, where like from IPv6 to data centers we are saying. So on the top we have hundreds of data centers which are going to analyze that particular data what we have collected from the objects, smart objects. Okay, so fog services are typically accomplished very close to the edge device, sitting close to the IoT endpoint as possible. One significant advantage of this is that the fog node has contextual awareness of the sensors. It is managing contextual awareness of the sensor it is managing because of the geographic proximity to the sensors. Because of the fog node is able to analyze information from all the sensors on that derrick, it can provide contextual analysis of the messages it is receiving and may decide to send back only the relevant information over the backhaul network to the cloud. So this fog node will be having that computational power that will analyze that particular information, and which is needed only that will be forwarded to the next level. Okay. In this way, it is performing distributed analytics such that the volume of data sent upstream is greatly reduced and is much more useful to application and analytics service residing in the cloud. So filtering of data is happening simply. It is the required data is only getting transmitted, and it will be easy for the applications and analytics servers for working on this particular data now. Okay, so IoT fog computing enable data to be pre-processed and correlated with other inputs to produce relevant information. This data can then be used as real-time actionable knowledge by IoT enabled applications. Okay, so based on this data now they can take some required actions. So longer term, this data can be used to gain deeper understanding of the network behavior and system for the purpose of developing proactive policies, processes and responses. So by observing all this data and all, so we can use this data for developing different policies, processes and responses. Okay, so this is all about the content for this lecture. Then let's discuss about what kind of questions are asked on this particular topics. So the first one is list and explain the requirement driving specific architectural changes for the IoT. So we have discussed what are the challenges and what changes need to be required for the IoT rather than like on the current IT network. Okay, then explain the core IoT functional stack. So we have discussed just now. So core IoT function stack, the three layers, the things layer, okay, then communication network and the application layer, right? With a net diagram, explain the IoT word forum standardized architecture. So we have discussed the 7-layer architecture. You just need to draw that 7-layer architecture and you need to explain each layer, the functions of each layer of that. Okay. Then with a net diagram, explain one M2M IoT standardized architecture. So even we have discussed about this M1 to 1 M2M architecture. So you just need to explain that after drawing that particular diagram for the main elements of one M2M architecture. Okay. Then write a short note on IoT data management and compute stack with the fog computing. So just now the last one what we have discussed, what fog computing is doing, that you need to explain with the proper diagram. Okay. Thank you.